Answer Me This with Kwabena Ansah and me, Rod Corp. Kwabena, how are you this day?
Oh, Rod, it's great to be back with Answer Me This. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Now tell me, what did we learn? Answer me this. What did we learn with the rugby, New Zealand versus Argentina and South Africa versus Wallabies?
Well, look, Rod, we learnt a lot. We're not Australia, the Wallabies. We're not far off. But there's a lot of work to do. What we learnt, Rod, was the fact that we need a playmaker. Unfortunately, Australia doesn't have a playmaker, a general, a leader. Probably the last time we had someone of notable status was probably Stephen Larkham. And that's taking us quite a while back. I think what we learned with the Wallabies, we need a general, we need to take... and here's an idea, Rod. Could you think someone like Daly Cherry Evans potentially being snatched away to play for the Wallabies at the end of his career? Because he's such a leader. He is such a general on the field. And I just think, I know it's a different code, but I just think we need someone to really take ownership of that back line and to man the forwards going forward, because right now we're struggling in that sense. What do you think about that, Rod?
Well, I think, someone in the back line, and, Cherry Evans is very good, and it's not been done before where they've switched codes.
Yeah, well, it's happened in the past. We've had Lottie Takiri, Wendell Saylor, Matt Rogers back in the day, and they were clearly in the back line, and, they played quite well. I just think we need a general, and right now the depth within the Wallabies side in terms of having that real playmaker, that general to set the play, to move the backs, to move the ball, and really cause havoc up to the opposition might just be a nice little opportunity for them to explore. I mean, we're gearing up for the next World Cup. That's what we're gearing up for, and I think let's try everything, Joe Smith. I'm happy if you try anything and everything. I don't mind losing at this present time. I think we're doing well. We came up against a really incredible side in South Africa. I mean, they turned the screws on the Wallabies in the second half, and they just outclassed us in so many parts of the game. So I just think we need to try something. Our backline needs to get going. Joe Smith, you've got your number one supporter here. Now, Rod, answer me this. New Zealand, I did say they had fallen off a cliff. They seem to have bounced back. They really came back against, Argentina. 42-10.
It's a good win.
It's a brilliant win. And look, I still think technically they have lost some of their mojo, Rod. I think they have to really go back, because now the real test comes for New Zealand. The real test is playing against South Africa. I just think technically that they will. They need to tighten up some of their set plays, some of their their front line, their back line really excelled. But yes, New Zealand, you proved. I guess Eden Park. Look, Eden Park. A lot of teams don't win. But technically they weren't sound. They really had to sharpen their skills, and I think the game of the match that everyone wants to watch is New Zealand versus South Africa. And let's just see if New Zealand has truly fallen off the cliff, because they are going up against the best in the world, and that's going to be a fascinating game. The Wallabies will be playing Argentina in Argentina. So the championship kicks off in a few weeks' time. So there's a bit of a break for everyone to get going.
Can you book us a couple of flights to go and see them?
Oh, Rod, which one? Which one? South Africa?
Argentina, Australia, in Argentina.
Okay, yeah. Look, I mean, let's talk about that later, yeah?
I thought you'd just put it on your credit card for me.
Oh, Oh, true. Let's, okay. One day, Rod.
Let's talk Wallaroos.
Well, look, the Wallaroos are about to start their international campaign. So their campaign is set to start in September the 14th, and they'll be playing against the island. They'll be heading out to that part of the world where we call England and Ireland and Wales. And Scotland. So they'll be playing against Ireland, Wales. They'll be playing against South Africa as well in October, and then playing in Scotland. Look, there was an interesting story I read about the Wallaroos, and some of the players, they're still part-time, Rod. Answer me this. Yes, I understand Rugby Australia has increased their investment in women's program by over $3 million earlier this year, but the athletes remain part-time.
We look at what's happening locally with the Western Plains Rugby Union and how they've grown over the past little while. It'd be nice to see the national team, get a fully paid team.
It doesn't make sense to me. I genuinely think I understand the investment that goes into it, and it's 2024. We need to make the Wallaroos a permanent side where women like Kirby Sifu, their training practice is in the Northern Beaches, which is, I think, probably not the best place to be having that, since a lot of your players may be coming from the west of Sydney or different parts of Australia, and you've put your training at one of the training fields at one of the most expensive rental markets in New South Wales, in Sydney. So I think something just needs to be done a bit more to help make the Wallaroos a permanent side, so that they can just focus on rugby. That's really important. I think elite women in sport, Rugby Australia, we need to do more to get these women into permanency and pay them a wage. That's my take, Rod.
Yeah, definitely. And they're heading towards the 2025 Rugby World Cup. And the coach of the Wallaroos, Joe Yap, believes their upcoming European tour will set them up perfectly.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, both the Wallabies and the Wallaroos, we're setting up for the World Cup. We need to really ensure, I think, that we're trying everything, we're doing everything possible to make our team strong, whether that's paying a living wage or whether that's getting Daly Cherry Evans from league to play in union in our side, because we need a general, we need someone to really set that tone of intensity, and I think he'll be well respected if he jumped on the team. I truly do.
All right, they're back. F1 is back. The Netherlands.
Yes, the Dutch F1 is kicking off this weekend. I mean, we've had some amazing, it's just been practice rounds at the moment. Last time I really spoke about George Russell and, his unfortunate issue at Spa and being disqualified. So I do think, Mercedes, you do owe George Russell a pole victory. Now, answer me this, Rod. Have you heard the news?
Has it got anything to do with Jack?
Well, Rod, you're on top of it. I mean, Jack Donner will be promoted to the Alpine F1 team, and so that will mean Australia could have 3 drivers in Formula 1 next season. Isn't that crazy?
Yep, and we're obviously talking about Jack Doohan, son of the motorcycle champion.
Yes, Mick Doohan. So, which is fantastic for Australians. We can cheer on. Although Alpine won't be one of the main contenders, and Jack will obviously be getting his legs within, dipping his leg within the F1 and starting below, it is really good just to see more Australians being in the F1. Don't you think, Rod?
Absolutely. The more the merrier. The more chances of us getting on that dais.
Yeah, look, and possibly winning a championship in the future. But, there are some amazing drivers out there. And I think for Jack, Australia will be cheering him on going forward, looking at the opportunities. I'm sure Mick will be at those races and we'll get to see his face on the TV screen again.
I wonder if he smiles as broadly as Ricardo.
Well, look, I mean, he's got the hair. That's going one thing. They say F1 drivers are a bit arrogant, but Daniel Ricciardo doesn't seem arrogant. Yeah, I think Jack will fit in quite well.
Champion in the making. Shall we move to the AFL? The finals are upon us.
Rod, have you seen the ladder? Rod,
Not today. No.
Look, Carlton, as I predicted, well, as I asked last week, Rod, can Carlton make the 8? Now, they're sitting at 8th, sorry. And we got one more game. Collingwood, they're 9th. Fremantle is 10th. And Essendon's out. So, we've got Hawthorn and Carlton, your team, Rod, 7th and 8th. So, can Carlton get a flag? Probably not. But I'm happy with my prediction. I guess we'll see after today's game how they go. But yes, it's round 24 and Carlton is in the top 8.
Yes, and Hawthorn today will take on North Melbourne. Good chance there for us.
Yeah, I mean, North Melbourne is, second from the bottom. So I think it's a very healthy opportunity. Swans are still up top and they got the minor premiership. So well done to Sydney Swans and their team. But Rod, your team is, I don't think you're dropping out of the top 8.
Good to hear. You have a good week.
All right, Rod. Well, you keep safe, and it was great to talk to everyone. Again, with Ansah Me This.
Kwabena Ansah and me, Rod Cook.